I've been given a topic that I really don't know why they gave me that topic. Maybe there's a reason by the time I'm through with it. They said I should talk about leadership quality and also loyalty. Let me start with quality. We always hear about the 3 C's: competence, character, and what? At the end of the day, one of the things that we all here have to ask ourselves, and I'm glad, Professor Amadi, don't we call him Dr. Amadi, that's one you prefer, right? Has, talked about some of them in terms of the fact, how do we look at ourselves and what do we see? It is one thing to have an opportunity to run for office. It's also another thing to be prepared to run for office. We must be better than the people that we want to change or remove or whatever the term is. At every time, it's not just about the passion. It's also about what is it that you're bringing to the table for this country, that at the end of the day, the country will be better off just because you were there. I always say that I hold myself to higher standards than I hold anybody. If I'm going to hold you to 10%, I'm going to do 100. And if I'm holding you to 100%, if I'm not doing 1,000%, then it's not worth it. And I think every one of us, those are the questions we must ask ourselves. There are moments in someone's life that you sit down, not in the outside, not where anybody is, but you're alone with yourself, and you say to yourself, am I able? One of the things that I see a lot of us miss is how to be people-centric. Service, and I'm glad the slogan of our party is what? Service. If you're not serving the people, what are you doing? Service is not about being performative. It is about you alone with that man who is a security man and you're going past and you're treating him like a human being. That's you serving that person. It's not about you lording it over. Oh, I occupy this place. Oh, I'm this rich. Do you know who I am? No, I don't know who you are. Did your parents tell you who you are? Do you know this or do you know that? No. When people see you, what do they take away? How do you make them feel? That's what service is all about. And if you've not imbibed that particular quality, then I think it's important for that to be the beginning of how you say to yourself, how do I serve? And I will come to loyalty. I see a lot of people who have this respect to office, respect to position, respect to authority, but they never respect people who are lower than them. I always say to people, you see that gate man, or whatever, security personnel, or whatever it is, I will tell him good morning, sir, 1,000,000 times. The one that is sitting at the top and feeling this thing, probably wouldn't. You're going to fight somebody else, tell people, I don't fight people, anybody below me. I'll fight you, you stay up. That one that you see as untouchable. But you see what a lot of us do, a lot of people do, they oppress. The same person that will not have the guts or the temerity to stand and talk to the people who are above there, we oppress the people below just because they have the power. That's not leadership quality. Empathy is a quality that every one of us must imbibe. And I've always said, is someone's phone ringing? And I always say, if you cannot have empathy, what then do you have? Unfortunately for us in this country, empathy has become something that is extremely expensive. People don't feel it. Something has happened, oh, not them. You know the phrase I hate most in Nigeria? Is when I hear people say, I never thought Nigeria will happen to me. It shows one thing, lack of empathy. Because when it happens, happen to another person, you should take it as that's something that has happened to you. And you will stand and speak up and be there and not just wait until it happens to you before you put up your mouth and say something. And as a leader, if you don't have empathy, you have nothing. Because it is through empathy that you will feel the pains of others and you will want to lift them. It's not enough that you can buy solar, gen, everything and have 24/7 electricity. As long as your neighbor does not have 24/7 electricity, we all don't have 24/7 electricity. As long as your neighbor cannot feed, we all cannot feed. As long as there are children outside who cannot attend school, all our children are not in school. And one of the greatest injustices in this country is that access to good quality education is dependent on the economic status of one's family. If you're rich, if your parents are rich, you will have good quality education. If your parents are not rich, you will not have good quality education. No matter how brilliant you are, I have a sister who teaches in government school. I'm not going to mention the name of the state. And every day she cries. You find children who are students, rather, they are not students, who are in SS, SS1, SS2. They cannot read simple sentence. She has had to, sometimes she starts from the beginning. She leaves the curriculum and she takes them from the beginning. How do you do that to citizens? Primary and secondary education is for the benefit of the nation. That is why you must provide free, good quality primary and secondary education. Because when a nation is educated, then the country can have development. Even the politics, I always say that democracy without education is a disaster. Because a professor of politics or of law will vote. And someone who has never been to school, has never been given opportunity, we cancel that vote. And that's why we are here. We have reached a place where deliberately the educational system was sabotaged so that some people can continue to rule, not lead. That's not a quality of a leader. Quality of a leader would mean that everybody will be given opportunity for them to try, give them enabling opportunity. Today we pay the price. When we've sent our children abroad, they've gone to Ivy League schools, they've gone to the best of schools. Guess what? When we come back here, those children who were not given opportunity to be in school will not allow them to live peacefully in their own country. And that's why today, our children are roaming all over the world looking for place they can get citizenship. We have deliberately made our children stateless. That's what we did. Because we do not realize that in denying that education to others, we also denied ourselves and our children. And there's something I would like to say to every one of us here. That the education that we have is not for us alone. It's also for millions of others who didn't have the opportunity to be educated. So when you have an opportunity to be a voice, be one. When you have an opportunity to lead, lead very well. Because there are so many people who are dependent on you to be there for them. Another leadership quality, confidence. It's very important. If you have to lead people, you have to ensure that you yourself, you're showing confidence, and you're standing, and you're also a rugged fighter, and you're not giving up. And we've seen examples from our leaders, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, and also His Excellency Madam Rabiu Sakongosu. We've seen them, they are dogged. And I must say to you, sir, Madam Bubagaladima, thank you for always being there. Thank you for being a voice. Thank you for speaking. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you look as if you're mad when you're speaking. may have those voices. And sometimes, yeah, we all make mistakes. And sometimes, yeah, people wouldn't understand what we are saying. But steadfastness is very important. Have that confidence to stay on and not just move on just like that. Sometimes when everybody is going one way, it takes courage to go the other way. And one of the qualities that you must imbibe as a leader is that of a courage. Because sometimes you'll be called upon to decide and whether you stand for something or you fall for nothing. And that's where courage comes in. Because if you're not courageous for your people, then you will not be able to do anything. And you will be someone who will be buffeted by the wind all over the place. So courage is very important. Inspiration. Are you inspiring? Are you someone who would inspire the people? Are you someone that when people see you, they know that they can not only have trust in you, but they can align to be like you? And then Jim Rohn said something, that if you want to set a goal, you should set a big enough goal so that in the process of achieving that goal, you become somebody worth becoming. So ask yourself, are you inspiring? Are you even inspiring yourself? Are you inspiring the next generation? Did they look at you and they want to just be you or be greater than you or achieve those things that you have done? I have always said to leaders, and I'm going to say to every one of us here, that if after 100 years they do not remember what you did in office, they do not remember how you stood for Nigeria, they do not remember how you fought, then will your time in office really be worth it? We shouldn't just say, oh, I'm just better than the other person. Oh, I just provided school. Nigeria, we should go beyond that. I want to see a Nigeria where we are fighting for the rights of animals. Where people are coming out and saying, do not cut this tree, rather than fighting for people to be allowed to live. There are so many qualities, but I think let me not go too much and take over too much because I tend to talk. People always say to me, I say it's a God-given grace, I can talk for Africa. For the next 12 hours without paper, I can talk. But if you tell me to write what I'm just saying, I can spend the next 10 hours, I'm not on one page. But everyone has his own gift. The next thing I'm going to talk about is loyalty. Loyalty. You know, when I was in a certain party, my first political party, one of the things that I heard a lot from some people was that, Aisha, your loyalty will be tested. And I always say to them, my loyalty will not be tested because you all know I am PO-nized. And that was on period. It didn't matter what it cost me. It didn't matter the opportunity I didn't get or whatever. I don't care. If I give my word, I stay with my word. Yeah. Even if it means that at the end of the day, I might lose my life or lose something that is precious to me. Because I believe my word is my bond. And no matter how tough the situation is, I will keep my word. And sometimes they say, Aisha, you are too extreme. You are too extreme. Because I am one person who has always said, I do not do label. I am me. And I say it as it is. You will either love me or hate me. And either one is okay. So whatever label you give me, it's okay. And I know Nigeria will be okay. Oh, Nigeria will be okay. Inshallah. Loyalty. Your loyalty will be questioned. Sometimes you are loyal, but still they will say to you, you may be not as loyal as you should be. Remember, for every one of us, there is a moral compass within us. And as long as you know that whatever you're doing, that before you and the Almighty God or whatever it is that believe in, you are doing the right thing, keep on doing it. Because loyal to the person, be loyal to the cause, be loyal to Nigeria, be loyal to the movement. Stand and say, if my loyalty is tested, where will I be? Will I be on those who stand for what is right, or will I be on the side of those who chose stomach infrastructure, or whatever infrastructure that they want to choose? Loyalty. But you know, sometimes loyalty is punished. Yeah. Sometimes, or most times, loyalty is punished. Because you stayed on, it is sometimes seen as, oh, we have this one. And so I would say to every one of us here who are aspiring to be leaders, remember, as much as you expect loyalty from your followers, that loyalty up, there should also be loyalty down. For those who follow you, who stand by you, who are with you, be loyal to them. Have their back and say, no matter what, I can't let down those who believe in me. So loyalty is not a one-way channel. It's a two-way channel. And if the people who believe in you, the people who follow you, the people who stand with you, know that you're loyal to them, guess what? They will give you everything. So in some moments, it might cost you some things. Because it's a price you pay for everything. But at the end of the day, when you gain the trust of people, the passion of people, you gain everything that they have, they put it in you, you will be better off. I have said before, and I will say again, the 2027 election is going to be a war. And I didn't mince my words when I said that. There was no water in my mouth when I said that. We all are going to be fighting for the soul of Nigeria. And we all are going to be fighting for our lives. And let nobody think as you go onto this journey that it's going to be a walk in the park. No way. It's going to be a fight. Yeah. And we must be ready to give it our all. Yeah. We must be ready to say, no matter what, we stand and we fight. Like the Hausas will say, whatever will happen, let it be. I see people every time who are afraid. We have been turned to citizens who fear in our own country. They've turned us to slaves. We no longer are citizens. I want to say to every one of us here, as we march on to 2027, that we all are citizens. We are not slaves. And the office of the citizen is the highest office in the land. And for those of us who will get opportunity, if God so wills, to be in office, we must never forget that indeed the office of the citizen is the highest office in the land. And whatever office that you occupy is a privilege that has been given to you from that office of the citizen. You do not betray them. Loyalty to the citizens is very important. A lot of people who thought 4 years ago that they were untouchable, today they are calling working among citizens, begging citizens. And by the time we get into campaigns, you will see more of them. All they needed to do was to be loyal to the citizens, and they would have had a walk in the park. So learn. Experience, they say, is the best teacher, but nobody ever says you have to experience it for you to learn from it. For those who have failed, learn from them. Since entering politics in January, one of the things, phrase I've also heard repeatedly being said to me is that, Aisha, you are an activist. You are just coming in. We've been doing politics for 30 years. Some have told me they've been doing politics for 40 years. And I always say to them, I also have experience of watching politicians fail Nigeria for 40 years or 30 years. So if we sit at the table our leaders that are here. Remember something, 2027 is going to be a war. It's not a war that money can win. It's not a war that it's money that will defeat it. Because I tell you, there are some people who have hijacked the purse of the nation and they have opened it and they are ready to spend it no matter how they want to spend it because they fear no repercussion. If you bring 1,000 naira down, they'll bring $1,000 down. They have borrowed, and borrowed again. They have borrowed the kind of money that the next 100 years probably our descendants will be paying those monies. And so what do we need? We cannot outspend them, but we can outpassion them. How do you outpassion those people who have taken over this country? Is by ensuring that the candidates that you field are the candidates with competence, character, capacity, candidates that are courageous, candidates that have passion, candidates that will stand for Nigeria, candidates that are patriotic, candidates that have been there all this while, that have never left the trenches, that the people can see and relate to. It's not about the candidates that you feel the old politicians want to see. No. So until we get to that place, and this is a direct message to my party, the Nigerian Democratic Congress, when you sit down and we do those primaries, let's give room for people with competence, character, capacity. Let's give room to young people. Let's give room to women. Let's give room to adults, to men. Let's give room to people living with disability. Let's give room to competence. Let's give room for people that we inspire the people on the street. As much as we say we want consensus, citizens should sit together and come together and pick a person, but it must not be the basis of how deep your pocket is. Because the war we are going for is not about your pocket. The war we are going for is not about who you know. The war we are going for is about those that can inspire Nigeria, those that are the stretches, those that can stand and fight for our vote, those that can defend our vote, and those that will say, if they go low, we go underground. And I say all this today with all sense of responsibility. If we do not have those people, the same way you see our principles, as much as we're fighting for our principles, our main principles, okay, Obi and Compasso, the citizens that are there that cannot see up to them must also see Obis and Compassos in their respective zones so they can fight for them. This is not about money. This is not about the time that people who have failed Nigeria repeatedly decide to leave where they are and come into this place after we have received bullets, after we have been beaten so many times, after we have stood for Nigeria, and they come and they pick the big ticket just because they look like the old politics. The old politics will not win the election for us. It is the new politics that will win the election.